Hey, Pimp Squad, Woody Crew, what's good with you? This is the Ghetto Cowboy coming at you live, baby. So, today's topic, I know it's kind of weird. So, today we're going to talk about a couple different topics. We're going to start off with I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the Black Dahlia case. Was where I think her name was Smart, Amy Smart, or something like that. They found her body mutilated and drained of blood, right? And they've never found her killer whatsoever. But investigators and people believe that the torso killer was um, responsible for her death, but they couldn't prove it because he was never caught either. Um, so what do you guys think? You know, it's crazy. So the original investigator on the case, he got so fed up that he couldn't, solve it. That he retired and took off. Um, they had a guy in custody. They had locked him up because they thought he was the killer, and unfortunately, he was. At first, they thought he hung himself, but then they came to the conclusion that it wasn't suicide, that he was murdered, and they believe he was murdered by somebody from the police department. My theory is it had to be somebody on the police department. If they knew, you know, I actually believe it was the original investigator, and then they were just getting too close, uh, and that's why he retired and disappeared. Uh, and then people started coming up dying, and coming up missing and stuff like that. It's crazy, man. Like, it's crazy how uh serial killers, some actually, like, they leave no trace evidence, no. uh I mean, back in the day they had no forensics, right? So of course it was going to be hard to solve uh one murder case, let alone, you know 20 or 30. um but now with all this technology and shit, dude, like, even a fucking beard hair left on the scene, they can figure out who the fuck did it. And still to this day, they have ideas who the Zodiac was. um they have a great idea who Jack the Ripper was, which they actually think Jack the Ripper was actually H. Holmes, because he would travel from his murder castle in Chicago, uh, to England, or uh, I think that's where it was, England, or whatever. Um, uh, he would travel over there for business and stuff because he was a doctor. Um, so they actually believe that H. Holmes was Jack the Ripper, just by the way the murders were. Um, Crazy. The other thing is I watched that Dahmer. Listen, I don't condone what the fucking dude did because he was a sick fucking individual, especially the way he would eat people. But in my opinion, I think his dad contributed to what he done, because he introduced him to taxidermy and pretty much death. You know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna go pick up this dead animal on the side of the road, and then we're gonna bring it home, and then we're gonna dissect it, and blah blah blah, and then we're gonna stuff it, and this, that, and the third. So I truly believe that his dad, because his dad even admitted that when he was his age, when he was young, he had fucked up thoughts like that. You know, uh, he had fucked up thoughts about killing women and doing sexual shit with their bodies, but I never acted on them because I knew it was wrong. No, you never acted on them because you were afraid you would have got caught. So, in my opinion, you groomed your son to be a serial killer. That's what you did. So, it is what it is. But enough of the serial killer stuff. So, I saw a podcast with Elon Musk on it, and it was fucking really interesting because he's pretty much saying that there is other life out there, right? Aliens, whatnot, abductions, the whole fucking 9 yards. And also, there was also a podcast with Dan Aykroyd uh, on Joe Rogan. Actually, if you look it up, you can watch it. Because they were drinking his Crystal Skull vodka. And I don't know if any of you guys know this, but in history, throughout the world, there's supposed to be these, what they call crystal skulls. And they're apparently, each one is in each corner of the world. And whoever finds them, I don't know if all of them get together, something's supposed to fucking happen or whatever. So Dan Aykroyd actually made his vodka from that idea, from those crystal skull ideas. Like one of the skulls, a lady had to keep it in her closet because she heard it talking to her. The other skulls, this guy and his niece were exploring, and she had reached into a cave and grabbed this like burlap sack or something. And as she opened it, there was this crystal skull, but it was perfect. Like it was fucking amazing, immaculate, right? So it was tested. And here to find out, the scientists said that the skull was not sculpted by any kind of tool, that it had to have been polished for years, centuries, not like centuries, over centuries until it got its shape. Um, I mean, it was flawless. Apparently, it's in a museum. I don't know if it's in a museum in Italy or France or somewhere, but sorry guys, there's something on my screen, and I don't feel like I don't want to peel the screen protector off because I've had it on there for a while. But anyway, so the skull is supposed to be like in immaculate shape. But Dan Aykroyd was also saying that there's and it's actually a famous story. A lady and her husband, I forget their names. It's really popular though. In like the 1950s, I believe, they were on a road trip and they saw an aircraft and it was following them. So they're just like speeding down this road and they're turning down different turns, and this thing is still staying with them. And apparently, out of nowhere, the car stopped. They lost a shitload of time And then they ended up back in their car. But it was weird because the lady and the man were actually hypnotized by a hypnotist. And there's tapes of like the man, he couldn't recall anything that happened. But apparently the female did. Um, on his tapes, you can hear him screaming and like just just like very terrified. But the woman said that um, she saw a map of the galaxies, right, where these alien forms were from, and she asked him on her way out if she can have the map, the star map, and the ET, the extraterrestrial, actually said yes and was going to hand it to her. But then out of nowhere came another one and said, no, you can't have that, and took it back. And then um, eventually she ended up back in their car, but miles away from where they were. Um, I mean, there was over, what did Dan Aykroyd say? 4 million? I don't know. I'd have to actually pull up Joe Rogan's podcast with him. Unless you want to watch it yourself, I'll leave a description down in the link. Matter of fact, I'll do that right now, so you guys can check it out if you guys want. I mean, it is what it is. Uh, Joe Rogan. I don't know how to spell Rogan. All right, there we go. Joe Rogan, uh, and then Dan Aykroyd. Podcast. Check it out, man. Show that Joe Rogan, Dan Aykroyd podcast. Um, it was interesting, man. Like the stuff that Dan Aykroyd was saying was crazy, and he also gave a book to Joe Rogan, but I wasn't sure what the book was called. Like I said, I got to rewatch it, but I mean, you can look it up right up on YouTube. It's pretty cool, and like, I mean, it really opened up my eyes to this shit. Like, it's crazy. Just like I saw a thing how the government now is um flying these new drones they got in and out of um power stations to see if they can maneuver um in between the the power cores and stuff like that. uh I don't know why they're doing that. um but yeah. So anyway, back to Elon Musk. So Elon Musk was on uh Paul no, not that podcast. I forget the name of this podcast, but he was on if you just look up Elon Musk podcast interview, it might come up. But dude, it was crazy because he was saying how AIs, you know, are already smarter than humans, and he's legit because he's created AIs that actually, like, I'm sure you guys saw it too. Will Smith um actually talked to one of the fucking AIs that he had built. um and the thing, dude, it was creepy because at first it said uh we were created to destroy mankind, and then the show went off to commercial. But when it came back on, the gentleman that was working the AI I'm telling you, he must have reprogrammed it, because then that same question was asked, why were you built? And it was, oh, to help mankind, blah blah blah. Whole different story. Um, and listen, you could tell Elon Musk was even scared himself. Um, he thinks that AIs are going to take over the world before the alien race does. And what's going to happen is the aliens are going to get pissed off, um, because that's going to fuck up their, uh, that's going to fuck up their investigations and stuff like that with humans, because apparently, aliens, they want to create a hybrid. They want to create a human that has an alien mind with alien technology in a human body, right? So that would be perfect, because then they would be immune to certain things, like how if we got COVID, we get sick, okay, whatever, or you get the flu, you get sick, whatever, you take medicine, you feel better. Now, if an alien were to get those kind of diseases, they would surely die because their immune system just couldn't handle it. So if they can splice their knowledge into a human body, that would be the perfect race. Uh, you know, um, in my belief, I think if aliens did that, um, I think I think the AIs would welcome war, welcome uh, destruction and chaos, and I think the aliens would actually try to prevent that, once they got what they wanted, which is to create the perfect human. Um, the only bad thing is that a normal human being would be, either way, the humankind would be enslaved, and we would be pretty much fucked. And then that would cause, I think that would be cause for a resistance. You know what I mean? Kind of like a total recall, or some type of shit. But that's my thought on that. Um, and then in other news, pimps, thunderstorms tomorrow all day. So if you plan on working outside, be careful, be safe, stay dry. Um, and then for all you WWE lovers out there, rumors are as follows. There are rumors that, and don't hold me on this because it's just a rumor, CM Punk might be coming back at the Royal Rumble. Uh, Dean Ambrose is still he did just sign a long term deal with AEW, but there are talks of him doing a special appearance on either the Royal Rumble or Raw or SmackDown. I'm not sure which one. Other rumors in the rumor mill is that The Rock might be coming back full time uh, after winning the championship from Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, supposedly. One of the championships. The other rumor is the other championship is either going to go to Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins. But I don't know about that because Seth Rollins is um, in a feud with Austin Theory right now, which Austin Theory got lucky this time and pulled off another win to keep the title. Um, what I want to see is I also want to see the Bloodline lose the tag titles to the Street Profits. I think the Street Profits deserve it. It's either the Street Profits or either the Street Profits or what's the name of that one group? Hit Row. I don't know if you guys seen what happened with Hit Row, but the one member on Hit Row, what's his name? Big something. I forget his name. I only know him as Jamie. I think that's his real name. He went to jump over the top rope and really took a fucked up spill, man. Like he barely made it over top of the rope, and he fucked himself up pretty good. So everybody was making fun of him for that. Top Dollar, that's his name. Because they were calling him like they were making fun of him and shit. And then he put his hands on Ricochet, and Ricochet's pussy ass got all, butt hurt and shit. Which I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see Ricochet beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. But what I think is going to happen is at the Royal Rumble, I think the big guy, the monster among men, is going to take the title from Gunther in a some kind of match, steel cage or something, just to keep the other two dickheads out of the Imperium, the other guys in Imperium out of the way. Because in my opinion, I really do think that. I think Gunther is a really good wrestler. He's strong. He's always been a champion. When he was with NXT, he was Walter. He was called, but he was also the what was it? The he was, I don't know. It's a brown title. I forget what the fuck it's called again. My mind is locked up. But anyway, he was a champion over there. He's a champion over here. The other thing, awesome. Alexa Bliss Bianca Belair match. That was a really good match. Hold on one second, guys. I got mail on. Yeah, you guys can see it. That's just to tell me that I gotta call in this week, which I already fucking know because I get the messages on my fucking phone every fucking week. Fucking jackasses. And motherfuckers are gonna fucking, yeah, on the 12th. All right, so is it a call in? Oh no, video. Anyway, but I think that match was going really good. I think Alexa Bliss could have actually won that match if Uncle Howdy and the other two guys in the crowd wouldn't have interfered, and then cause Alexa Bliss to go all crazy and beat up a ref and then put Bianca Belair in the hospital because she DDT'd her on the steel steps. And listen, for a female wrestler, I think Alexa Bliss's DDT is fucking devastating for a female. Bro, She reminds me, her DDT reminds me of Jake the Snake Roberts. Like, Jake the Snake is the only, like, that dude is the only, I think, the only wrestler in WWE history that ever perfected that DDT like that. Like, that guy was fucking amazing, you know. But then you got guys like Dean Ambrose. His DDT was pretty good. You know, and then you have Alexa Bliss. But her DDT is fucking devastating, dude. It's fucking crazy. But in my opinion, I think the ones that were in the crowd, if you look close enough, the first guy that came up that had the mask on, I'm thinking that that's Dexter Lumis, because there were rumors that he's supposed to be joining what they call the Wyatt Six, and I to be honest with you, I think that's who it is, because everybody already knows that Captain Howdy or Uncle Howdy. I'm sorry, Captain Howdy was from my favorite movie, Strangeland, but Uncle Howdy, um, everybody knows is Bo Dallas, because the stipulations in Bray Wyatt's return was, you bring back my brother because you guys never really utilized his talents, and I think he would do really good is if he joined, you know, my Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy storyline, blah blah blah. And the person that was in the ring with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight that night on SmackDown, that I don't think was Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy. I think it was Alexa Bliss dressed up like Uncle Howdy and hit Bray Wyatt with Sister Abigail. I'm That's what I think. Don't quote me. I could be wrong, but that's my idea. I think it's going to be Bo Dallas. I think it's going to be, because think about it. Dexter Lumis beat The Miz, correct? Now, stipulations were, if you beat The Miz, you get paid what he owes you, and you get a contract, right? Well, Dexter Lumis didn't get hurt. Where's he been? Nobody knows. Now, if you look at Monday Night Raw, if you look at Raw, and you look at the guy that's standing, the first guy with the mask, because the other guy is short with like black hair, and I already know who that is. It's one of the guys from NXT. What the hell? Butcher, I forget his name. But there was talk of him coming to join the Wyatts too. So I think it's either Dexter Lumis, or since Bo Dallas came back, I think it could be Kurt Hennig's son that came back with him. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Those are two good theories, because they both left at pretty much the same time. Yeah. So, but let me know what you guys think. Yeah, man. But like I said, check out the Joe Rogan Dan Aykroyd podcast. Let me know what you think. This is the Ghetto Cowboy. It's good being back on. I love you all. And hey, if you can dream it, you can do it. 2013 is your year, guys. I love you. Pimp Squad Loyalty Crew, I'm out.